Good evening, United Rogue Overwatch. We're here tonight for New York Insomnia versus Montreal Stags. I am Dojmeister here with Storm. How's it going?
What's up? What's up? I'm doing alright. I had a long day, ready to watch some Overwatch. Ready to watch Montreal for the third time. I love casting for Montreal, so it's been fun.
Nothing wrong with that. Pretty decent matchup lined up for tonight. We've got, again, obviously Montreal versus New York. Both teams doing pretty good this season. We've got
New York showing a lot of dominance for sure. Yep. New York did win the coin flip, and we do have Lijiang Tower picked, and we have all the bans coming in. So we've got a Sim ban on the side of New York, and we've got a Ramatra ban on the side of Montreal.
okay.
I like the Sim ban on this map for sure. Symmetra, obviously a very notoriously strong character on Lijiang, so I definitely don't hate it. However, Montreal is for the moment down their main Sim player in Den side, so they're going to be running with their double Dill lineup with Booger Bear, Dill Do on both on DPS, Big Green 42, and Guna on the support line. And then New York, I believe actually this is the first time Astros is seeing action in league play for New York. We've got Bonaparte on the tank, Parasite Astros on the DPS line, and then we have Biscuit 13 and Dragon Master on support. So that also means Dragon Master is seeing his first support games after having been stuck in DPS jail for the first 2 weeks of the season. And we're going in, it looks like.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, this is Astro's first match in United Rogue. He was picked up by New York from waiver wires this past week.
Yep. From what I know, very solid DPS player.
Ready for battle.
I'm not sure what the hero pool looks like for them, though. I'm pretty sure they have a Tracer. They're locking the Cassidy first here, though. Booger Bear on the Winston, Big Green on the Zen, Dill Do on the Tracer. And we have the classic Bonaparte Reinhardt, Parasite on the Genji, Biscuit on Juno, Dragon Master on Baptiste. Okay, so we have Zen Brig actually on the Zen Brig. We have a hard dive on the side of Montreal, which did show some success in their last week. So we will see how this goes. We're starting up here. Montreal opting to take this left side going into the server room area. New York getting there pretty quickly though. Kind of just setting up.
Dill's trying to get around behind on this Tracer, poke out some damage.
Does get the flashbang out, but not much else. And New York definitely having the better positioning as far as point goes, and they're just going to take it here. Not really much happening between the teams. Booger Bear is going to dive onto this high ground though, try and get something going, but right now it's not. It just looks like nothing's really materializing here. Bonaparte is going in on a pin, jumping to Zen, and finally we've got our first 2 kills of the round. Bildu falling to the Cassidy, and the Zenyatta falling to the Reinhardt. Reinhardt barely missing the charge on the Winston, but they do manage to pick up the kill anyways, and that's going to be a first fight win for New York, and 30% on the board and counting.
Very just odd fight. It didn't feel very grouped up by either team. Both teams kind of just running around aimlessly, it felt. You now see a swap coming out of Booger Bear going over to this Reinhardt.
Not unexpected. Booger Bear definitely known to pull out the Reinhardt sometimes. So we're going to have a little bit of Reinhardt shenanigans going on here. Dildo in there. Yeah, it kind of felt like New York was kind of split off, especially the DPS. Dildo giving a really good distraction, but it wasn't really panning out. Dill and Big Green both really low on the side of Montreal, and down goes Big Green to Astro's Cassidy. And Reinhardt, Booger Bear also falling really low, ends up falling
He did get
And a
one off
big
that shatter.
Yeah. Big shatter. Gets Dill before he can escape. Now the only one on point is Dildo on the Tracer, and not really going to pan out. Dill swapping on to the Sojourn from the Genji. I like the pick better. Just because we're not the dive comp kind of fell apart once Booger Bear went on the Reinhardt. Dildo swapping onto the Ashe instead of the Tracer. Did use the pulse bomb, so didn't lose it. Booger Bear's just in there. He charged in, and nobody really else on the team. Both support ults out on the side of Montreal too. Even though the tank's dead, they're trying to flip this. Parasite takes out Dill. This window up in the middle, and both supports are going to fall for Montreal, and that's going to be it. Man, I didn't realize that was the final fight. That was a very quick round. It didn't really feel like much happened in a lot of the fights, to be honest. It kind of just felt like a lot of floundering, a lot of trying to find their senses, trying to figure out what's going on.
It didn't really seem like Montreal was able to get themselves together, group up well enough to put in a solid fight. They kept kind of getting scattered. And it just...
Yeah, I think the comms are a little slow. Maybe not really able to pick out a target and focus on that target. They're all kind of just going off on their own. And but they can definitely fix this. It's only map 1. And in we go to round 2 onto Night Market. Sticking on to the Reinhardt mirror, Dildo back onto the Tracer, Big Green on the Mercy, so not a lot of heals coming out on the side of Montreal.
I'm wondering who Big Green is. I'll say Pocket.
Booger Bear.
Right now,
Booger Bear looking for a cheeky kill. Dill falling really low though, so it definitely wasn't the Sojourn that the Mercy was pocketing. Does have res on the line though, and is able to get Dill up, and he's able to leave, but Guna does fall. Bonaparte falling really low though as well. And Booger Bear pinning possibly the one character that wasn't going to die off the map, and unfortunately falls for his troubles. And now Montreal just needs to try and not stagger, but Dildo caught out in a really bad situation and is unable to get back. And Guna falling as well, and Montreal is just all over the place. If you're New York, you love to see this.
Just needs to wait for their group up.
Oh, Booger Bear does get the one right.
I like this pin.
Oh, he gets 2 with the shatter.
That window just sustained so much, and we aren't able to get those picks.
Booger Bear is in, gets another pin under the Reinhardt. Gets shattered. That was a good shatter from Bonaparte, able to save his life, and everybody else on Montreal falls. Only 60% though, so Montreal can definitely group up and make another push here. Oh, but Dill falls to a fire strike. What happened? It felt like he was still in spawn, and Dildo falling too. Man, and Montreal just can't seem to get grouped up here. And here comes a blade from Parasite, in on the Mercy, able to grab it. And now kind of just in on the whole team, falls really low, but isn't able, but they aren't able to get the pick. And Booger Bear falls as well. And it's looking like there's a last-minute pulse bomb. Astro's popping the high noon, but nobody's going to be able to touch, and that's going to be a really clean fight win for New York here, or a really clean map win. Sorry.
Play of the game.
Yeah, they're very decisive. I believe it was 100-0 on both rounds.
So yeah.
I don't think Montreal got a cap. Biggest blade of all time. Oh, deflected the. That's messed up. Deflected the grenade. What do you even call? What is that called? I don't even remember what that ability is called anymore.
I honestly forget. Oops.
But regardless of our casters, Poor memories on the names of specific skills.
Destructor shot. Is that it?
I think
Sounds
that is
right.
it, actually. I think you got it. I think that sounds right.
I don't know why it just randomly popped up, but
Hey, you know, it is what it is. We take it. So where do you go from here if you're Montreal?
is not too sure. They need to figure something out. Sounds like Booger is having quite internet issues. It sounds like.
Yeah, 500 ping is not ideal.
Yeah, 500 ping and then played on a hotspot, so definitely rough there. If there's maybe something they can swap around while Booger tries to figure that out. Very strong showing coming out from New York with this slightly new roster having Astros in there.
And Astro's definitely putting in some work too on that Cassidy.
Mm-hmm. Astros did very good. I do believe that was like one of his heroes.
Let's have a little peek at the career profile. Yeah, definitely a DPS player. The most hours on Soldier, 45 on Cassidy, 62 on Soldier. Has a Tracer, has an Ana too, so we can flex the support as well. Very flexible player, it seems.
And
Able
Montreal
to play in a lot of roles.
Montreal is going to be making some swaps, try and let him figure out his internet. Guna's going to be going over to tank.
I don't think we've seen Guna on tank before. Booger out.
Guna to tank, Booger's going out, Dead Inside, and Dildo on damage, Big Green, and Dill supporting.
Interesting.
Something different here.
For sure. I'm almost positive we have not seen Guna on the tank this season. I believe they play Zarya and I think they play a little bit of Ramattra too, from what I've heard down the grapevine.
Mm-hmm. Placed on tank so far this season. Top 3 heroes being Ramattra, Zarya, and Orisa. Curious to see what we'll see there. Let's see twice, 3 times, but just waiting on a map pick and hero ban for Montreal right now.
Yeah, it looks like Booger Berry is out of the lobby. He's trying to get his Wi-Fi fixed up.
With them swapping up this roster and seeing that she plays the Zar Ram mainly, what map they're looking at is actually
Blizzard World.
Go to Blizzard World.
Interesting.
Don't mind it.
I don't hate it.
I think could have some struggles here and there,
especially on this first point, but it also kind of depends on if they're attacking or defending first. But Zarya is definitely a character I like on Blizzard World, so I definitely don't hate this pick.
And
I am interested to see which bands come in.
Before we get to those bands, we do see another roster change coming out for New York. Dragon Master is going to be sitting out this one, and It's Nikki is going to be playing support.
Cool. New York picking to attack first. Has Nikki played? Yes, Nikki has played this season because they were down to only 5. So yeah, Nikki in for Dragon Master. That's the only swap on the side of New York. And now just looking out for bans.
Nikki is a Kiri player, so we'll likely see on a Kiri, which not a bad comp. I don't mind it. Could also see a Juno come out for Biscuit as well.
Yep.
Not
I
bad in
believe
terms of comp. I wouldn't mind seeing like a Juno Kiri and then having Bonaparte run the Reinhardt again. Be able to get that ring boost, get him moving around quickly.
I agree. And yeah, Nikki has definitely been playing the Kiri a lot, but her comfort pick is the Moira, as far as I know. But they have been playing the Kiri a lot. 6 hours this competitive season, and the only other character, the second place character on their hero pool is Brigitte at 20 minutes. So definitely been putting in a lot of work on that Kiri to try and fit in with this New York squad.
We see our first
MTL,
ban coming out
MTL is
from
gonna ban
Montreal.
May. So no May, and New York is gonna ban Zenyatta. Interesting. Dill not happy about it, it would appear. So, looking like that's a bit of a target ban. And looks like we are ready to go in.
Montreal.
Welcome to Blizzard World. Initiate
Into Blizzard World. Blizzard World Winter, specifically.
Ooh.
The best version of Blizzard World. The winter maps are so peak. I'm a huge fan of pretty much all the winter maps in this game, I think.
They are very good. But New York did elect to attack first, so we will get to see them pushing this point first.
ready for
Yeah, I was gonna say I expect to see a Sigma from the Bonaparte. Definitely a very popular Sigma map. Guna on the Ramatra to start, Dead Inside onto the Symmetra, which again, not a surprise. Dead Inside definitely been putting a lot of work in on that Symmetra this season. Dildo on the Ashe, Big Green on the Juno, Dill on the Ana, and we do have Juno Kiri on the side of New York. And Parasite on the Widow. I'm curious to see if this is just going to be like I'm looking for one shot and then I'm going to swap off, or if he's actually going to try and stick this.
2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective.
Parasite definitely
Gonna stick for
not going to quite... Oh, he finds someone, but not quite going to work out. Dead Inside going to TP away. And it looks like he is going to be swapping.
Just take a few shots while New York goes around left side, TPing up to high ground. That rotation grab.
I like it. I like taking control of this high ground here. Gives them a lot to work with, but it looks like they're dropping here.
Again, TPing to the back high ground. Loving these rotations coming out.
Yeah, Montreal. Oh, yep. Astro is putting in a lot of work on this Symmetra. New York using those TPs very, very effectively. Kind of bamboozling Montreal a little bit with their rotations. That's just going to be a full team kill. And that's going to be the first fight going very, very convincingly New York's way.
I don't think Montreal was ready. Those quick and rapid rotations.
Yeah, it was tough. New York looking to push the high ground a little bit, but opting against it after they see quite a large amount of damage getting pushed through. Dead Inside falling really low is gonna fall to Biscuit and Big Green. So Montreal down 2 already to start this. Dildo getting robbed and is gonna fall. And Dill's gonna fall. It just feels like before Montreal can get anything started. They are going to get in there. Oh, Symmetra almost able to find that kill, but Guna able to get back into spawn in time, barely surviving there. Astros was in pursuit. Unfortunately, wasn't quite able to find it, but it definitely pushed Montreal back far enough. And Guna drops here, looking for the quick, almost assassination-like kill onto Astros, but it's not gonna work. And here comes a big flux. Gonna get the soldier and the Ramatra down. Down goes Dill and Dead Inside. And Big Green's just gonna give up. Doesn't see any point in it. Doesn't need to stagger anymore, but New York with 5 minutes on the clock to get to this third point. And it's just been easy pickings, it feels like, for this team. Dead Inside swapping onto the Sojourn, Guna onto the Winston. Bonaparte throwing in a little YOLO rock. Doesn't quite get anybody. And Dead Inside falling really quickly, peeks out for a little bit and just immediately falls low. Guna looking for a dive, does jump onto the back line. Kiri TPs away really fast, but very smart by Guna not to use the bubble yet. Here comes the Big Green ulti. Dead Inside does fall early, which is unfortunate. Guna looking for the Symmetra kill. Here comes the orbital from Biscuit, but Dill finding 2 on the Kiriko. And it looks like, yeah, New York is just gonna have to back off here, using that Juno ult, but unfortunately not able to make anything come of it. They do have the Kiriko ult still in the back. Dill coming up on his own rush. Dildu falling really early to Parasite though. Astros keeping up top, falling really low to the Winston, but not quite able to find the pick. Oh, but that's a really good shot and a really good dive from Guna. Astros finding Dead Inside though. Parasite finding the Juno. Guna still in there. Bonaparte finding Dill. New York just picking them off one by one. And now the entire team looks at Guna, and as predicted, the monkey does get shredded. Dildu going in and falling though. That's a big stagger. Montreal's gonna have to make this final push. They do have Primal here though, so they will be able to stall for quite a bit of time. Here comes the Flux from Bonaparte, gonna pick up the Primaling Monkey. That's gonna take out half of that damage. It's a lot, but Art is gonna get the pick onto Astros with this Primal. They're trading. Montreal is down 1, down 2. It's just Dildu on the screen. Bonaparte, Biscuit, Nikkei on the side of New York. And Dildu is gonna do everything he can, but it's not gonna be enough.
Sim turrets just slowed him down at the end, and he could not get away.
Yep. That is definitely one reason to run the Symmetra, is to help deal with that Tracer. And New York finishing with 2 minutes 58, which is definitely better than it could have been. Montreal made a little bit of a stand, got a fight win, able to take some time off the clock, but if they want a real chance at winning this, they're going to have to put together a really strong attack here.
I feel like it could just be like a struggle for Montreal right now, because I wonder how much practice they've had with Guna playing the tank for them.
True.
I feel like Booger Bear is just such a backbone for it. The team playing that tank role, and now you don't have them, so.
Yeah, it's definitely rough. Astro's on the Torbjorn now, Parasite on the Ashe. Sticking with the Juno Kiri comp, Bonaparte on the Sigma still, and it looks like Montreal is just going to stick with this Winston, Sojourn, Tracer, Moira, and Juno comp. Actually, wait, were they on Moira before?
I don't believe so, but I could be wrong.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Overall, same game plan for Montreal here. Looking for some dives. Looks like they're going to be taking this left side here.
Looks like they're doing a similar thing, except we don't have that. Get to that high ground, so.
Yeah, Dill Dildo falling really low and is going to fall to that Torbjorn. Dead inside, looking for somewhere to peek out. Gonna farm rail off of that. Oh, but he presses the rail on the shield after it disappeared. And just so much damage getting pumped out from New York is making it really hard for Montreal to find really anything here.
I think them moving into this room is really the play for them. It's hard for them to get out of there without taking a ton of damage.
Oh, but Astro's falling really low is gonna fall. They do get the pick. And Juno also falling really low. Biscuit does fall. Bonaparte's still alive, still trying to hold down the fort. A really good bubble from Guna, though, is going to cut off any heals that Bonaparte has, but Bonaparte is going to find Dead Inside here. Guna back into the back line, looking for anything at this point. And is going to try and get out. Barely makes it out with her life. Montreal did get a tick, though. So definitely not the worst outcome in this fight. Moira is going to fall really low, but able to get out using that fade. Not going to fall yet. And here comes Montreal. The Winston in the back line, just trying to apply some pressure. Big Green does fall, and so does Guna and Dead Inside, and Montreal has no choice but to back up. Oh, but Dildo does get picked off in exit. And that's going to be a rough stagger. Dead Inside onto the Junkrat now. Maybe getting a little sick of that Sigma shield. And he's just going to try and do whatever he can to burn that.
Montreal had a good push there. They weren't coordinated enough on who their target was to confirm those kills.
Yeah, Guna was in the back line, but just didn't feel like they had much in the terms of communication. Guna is going to jump into the back line, is going to get solo ulted here, and is going to fall too. A really good job of New York turning around and focusing on that Winston. Dildo is still in the back line, but not going to be able to find a kill. Astro's getting two, one with the turret. Bonaparte finds Dill for a late kill. We do have an orbital on the side of Montreal. Only a minute remaining though. They've got to make something happen now. Dead Inside back onto the Sojourn, which is rough because I don't think Dead Inside's gotten an ulti off. Dildo does have a pulse bomb, which could be big if the Kiriko does not Suzu it, and he's behind. It looks like he's going to be able to find something. No, not negative on the pulse bomb though. Guna in the back line. Here comes the Dill ultimate ray, but here comes the molten core from Torbjorn and the Bob from Parasite. Yeah, very Cuber watch. Here comes the other satellite vector. Got Montreal having no choice. Guna falling, and that might do it if they can't get a touch here. Dildo on the Bastion. Dead Inside looking for this last touch. He's going to fall really low, though. Is he going to get it? Sombra hacking him. He does get the touch, though. Guna is in. Dill barely getting a touch on the Juno. Here comes the rush from Nikkei, though. Dildo falling. Big Green falling. Guna falling. Also falling very low. Astro's getting the hammer kill on the Dill. Yeah, we got a hammer kill. Hammer kill has been spotted. Mark that off the checklist. And New York taking that very dominantly. Only giving up one tick.
New York did very good with their ults there. They didn't pop them all at once. They used what they needed to. And they actually managed to save the Kitsune rush.
Yep.
And ended up pretty much, in my opinion, being what allowed them to win that last fight.
I agree.
Secured that fight.
The ult usage very, very, very solid on the side of New York. I think Montreal had something going, but again, it's rough without their main tank player in Booger Bear.
go to Montreal now. They get to pick both map and first hero ban. So we'll see what they pick. See if Booger Bear is able to make it back at all. Montreal has confirmed Booger Bear will not be going
Yeah, Booger
back.
Bear will not be returning.
Quite a hurt to Montreal here.
Yeah, it's going to be rough. If they can pull it back, it will be a comeback of all comebacks. But as of right now, not looking great, but it's always winnable. That's how I like to look at it, and I think that's how Montreal should look at it. And we do have the map and hero ban coming out for Montreal. We have Suravasa and no Kiriko.
Okay with that pick. Although I do feel, well, it could be interesting. I'm curious as to what
I don't hate it.
If they didn't, I will say they didn't give New York the opportunity to make a swap. Well, yeah, they didn't give time for roster changes. So the Kiri ban could be preemptive. You also see Dead Inside now going to the tank. And possibly Guna on the damage.
It's Guna does have some May time, so it's definitely possible.
They are swapping
Nick
Dragon Master
Gray,
in for Nikki. They are going to stick with this Kiri ban.
Yeah, we're kind of going off of procedure a little bit, but it's fine. The players are hashing it out here in the match chat. So the final rosters for this game 3 is Montreal, Dead Inside on tank, Guna and Ildu on DPS, Big Green and Dill on support. And New York only change Nick A out for Dragon Master on the support line. So we have the Dragon Master Biscuit support line. And it looks like we have a Junker Queen ban on the side of New York. That's messed up. that's messed up. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That's mean.
Yeah.
That's just straight up bullying.
I mean, it's smart out of New York, though.
I
Bonaparte
agree.
doesn't play the Junker Queen. It appears as though that's Dead Inside's main tank. It's one of his more played tanks this season.
It's definitely smart, but that doesn't make it any less mean.
Oh yeah.
And it looks like we are ready to get into this Suravasa.
Traveling to Suravasa.
So I wonder who Dead Inside's gonna play then, because as far as I know, JQ is his big tank. That is his favorite tank to play for sure. So I'm curious to see what we see out of him.
I'm curious for both that and what Guna's gonna play.
I think we probably will see the May, if I had to guess. Dead Inside on the Wrecking Ball. Interesting. Dill on the Zenyatta, Big Green on the Baptiste, now Kiriko. Dildu sticking to the Tracer. That seems to be his comfort pick. Guna on the Echo. Okay. Bonaparte on the Ramatra, Parasite Genji, Biscuit on Juno, Dragon Master on Baptiste, Astros on the Hanzo. We haven't seen the Hanzo out of him yet. Big Green also making a last minute swap over to Mercy, and we're ready for some Suravasa. Dead Inside obviously going to be the first one over to point, or the first one to engage.
seeing what New York has. This line Dildo is on too. Just getting behind him. It's been a constant menace with him. He's constantly getting in the back line swiftly.
Yeah, and Dildo falling. He's definitely been annoying them, but if it's tough because he hasn't. It feels like he hasn't really been able to secure any kills. The peel for the supports on the side of New York has just been phenomenal. And Parasite just in there dicing them up, falling down really low but able to get out. Astro's getting a cheeky little headshot on the Dildo out of spawn, and that's just a rough fight. Inside is going in. Now he's out. I mean, it's Wrecking Ball. Sometimes it can be hard to tell exactly what they're trying to do. Trying to go on a little bit of a flank here. Dildo is in with the Wrecking Ball. Dragon Master is falling low, has to burn the Immortality Field, but at the end of it all does live. Falling really low again though. Oh, and Dead Inside just explodes there. Guna falling, taking a couple of Storm Arrows to the face, and Bonaparte coming in to finish the kill. And Montreal just getting pushed back. Dildo gets headshot by Astros again, and Dead Inside swapping onto the Mauga.
Next, flashpoint.
Attack the objective.
A gun in each hand and a smile on his face as we head to point 2. And Dill falling really low and dies to Astros. And Astros putting in some heavy work on this Hanzo.
Right now, it just really feels that Montreal is struggling to play as a team. They keep going in different directions, different ways, and that's what's good enough.
Different times.
Yeah.
And Dead Inside is in there. Didn't have the shout. Here comes the window from Dragon Master, and that's going to force all of Montreal to rethink going in. Guna has swapped onto the Mei now. And we do have both support ults on the side of Montreal. Dildo trying to back cap the Parasite. Noticing, getting it out quickly. Pulse Bomb not going to fall. Here comes the Orbital Ray from Biscuit. Gonna force Montreal to have to kite again. Dead Inside in the middle, in the thick of things though. Here comes the ultimate from Bonaparte. Dead Inside falls. Bonaparte finding another with the ultimate. It felt like that was out for a long time, probably just at the tail end of it. Finds Big Green, and it's just Tracer and Mei on the point now. Biscuit finding Dildo.
Bagger.
Yeah.
Seems like to get back in time to be able to help Guna here. Bagger's surgery.
Honestly, I actually... It all depends on if this overtime happens. Okay.
It goes, but you're fighting a 3-on-4, 3-on-5?
Yeah, but I was gonna say, I believe if Guna respawned after the point expired, there would have been a better spawn, and would have put her closer to the point, but it looks like this spawn is actually perfect because it's right there. So Montreal is going to get a chance to set up on the point and try and make a last stand, because this is game point for New York. They win this, they win the series. And it's been rough so far, but they do have 3 ults. Mauga, we could see a Mauga Mei here possibly. Bonaparte has swapped onto the Mauga for the mirror. We could see a Mauga Mei combo perhaps. Guna falling really low though. And Dead Inside opting to drop the cage, and it's just 2 Maugas looking at each other. Not really much coming out of it, but Astros does fall, and it looks like New York is just going to try and back up a little bit here. Montreal is going to take the point. Dildo does fall to Parasite though. And New York taking this opportunity to push in. Here comes the window. Here comes the really good blizzard from Guna though. but it's not gonna matter. Nobody was there really to follow up. It got Dragon Master and I believe one other person, but Parasite and Bonaparte jumping into the back line and dicing him up.
It was a well-placed Blizzard. The issue was Dragon Master's window had already forced Montreal to back up and spread out, so they weren't able to capitalize on that Blizzard and do what they needed to.
I think maybe... Oh, Parasite was just standing right there behind Guna. Here comes a wall to try and save the tank from the other tank, but
Still being
we've got
forced
a
to use
trank. Yeah, and we've got both support outs coming out from Montreal. Here comes a cage from Bonaparte, though. It's got Dead Inside trapped. Dead Inside is going to fall. The blade also coming out from Parasite, able to cut people down. Nothing showed up in the kill feed, but the blade definitely put in some work there.
And Dildu really the only one who's able to touch her, and I don't.
Oh, and he's gonna fall.
He goes down before he can, and that will
That's gonna be it.
will be map point, and that will give New York the very quick and decisive win over Montreal here.
A very quick 3-0. Just sheer domination, to be honest. Montreal showing some signs of life at some points, but it was too little, too late. And yeah, Astro's putting in work on this Hanzo. And it's rough for Montreal because, again, they lost their main tank in Booger Bear, and just kind of fell apart from there.
New York picking up Astro is definitely good for them.
Yeah, it gives them some rotation. It gives them some variety in their game.
Solid hit scan as well.
For sure. Showing the versatility in this one, able to play the projectile, able to play the hit scan, and showing off that he is definitely a DPS to be reckoned with in the Emerald League.
Yeah.
But that is going to do it for us. We have some games on the schedule. We've got one tomorrow. Yep. I believe it is. We've got
2 Ruby matches. You've got Baltimore versus Detroit at 7:30 Eastern, and Havana is going up against Ottawa at 4 p.m. Eastern.
I will be on the Baltimore
matches.
Detroit. Yep. Two very solid matches. I'm excited to cast Baltimore versus Detroit with my good friend Ricochet, and Havana Ottawa also going to be a fun matchup to watch. That's a really early match actually for United Road standards. 4 p.m. Yeah, but that's going to be it for us. Been Storm and Doge Meister on the cast, and we'll see you next time.
Good night.
Night night.